At all, Phil. Okay. Keep us updated. Thank you so much. Out front with me now, Democratic Congressman Jamie Raskin of Maryland, a member of the House Judiciary Committee, one of the committees, of course, where Mueller is set to be testifying. Congressman, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Kate, for having me.
First off, what are you hearing? Are you hearing that Mueller is coming this coming Wednesday, next Wednesday? Not at all. What are you hearing?
Well, I've got to start by telling you that I was in oversight hearings all day about the border and inhumane treatment of children and families in the detention center. So I missed a lot of whatever was happening today. But I know that there are, high-level secret negotiations going on about exactly when the special counsel is going to come and what the terms of it are. I mean, our main determination has been to give him as much time as possible to articulate the basic findings and conclusions of the report, which have been so badly misstated and distorted by Attorney General Barr and President Trump with their ludicrous mantra of no obstruction, no collusion, when the report is filled with evidence contradicting both of those claims.
Congressman, are you entirely confident that Mueller is still going to be testifying?
Yes, I believe that's an historical necessity. When people get into all of the inside machinations of the different parties and everything, I just try to think of it from the outside. And I think historically he's got to come and speak. I wish he had done it the day after the report was delivered, but Barr had a game to play. And remember, he withheld it for 3.5 weeks right before Easter and Passover. And, here we are.
Well, let me ask you this, because you are one of the members who, this all goes by seniority and how the questioning goes in these committee hearings. You're one of the members who could get boxed out if the hearing moves as is with the time constraints as we see them.
Yes.
But answer me this. You, as a committee, you finally get Mueller to agree to testify after he originally had said he did not want to, and he originally was pushing back very clearly. Nadler clearly had to agree to this to get Mueller there because it is unusual, this kind of a time limit. Are you concerned that you are risking all of that, getting Mueller to speak publicly, just so more members can ask questions?
Well, it was the Republicans who were making a big deal out of that. I don't know if you saw the hearing yesterday, but they were all railing about how they wanted to have their 5 minutes and so on. And of course, that is the norm around here, and it is a rule in the House of Representatives. But I don't think it's fundamentally about that. I think it's the question of whether there's going to be sufficient time for the whole committee to question the special counsel and for him to have an opportunity to speak to the American people. I mean, we need him to articulate some really important things.
Right, but if it comes down to it, Congressman, is Mueller testifying for 2 hours publicly better than Mueller not testifying for no hours publicly?
Oh, well, of course it is. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. I mean, but look, the special counsel has said he wants to stand on the four corners of the report. So he wants to be a little bit like, Shakespeare and Macbeth. He wants the work to speak for itself. But his role as special counsel is a little more complicated than that. For example, he wrote those letters protesting Attorney General Barr's misstatements about the contents of the report. And he said that basically the Attorney General was confusing the American public about it. I would like him to expound upon that. We would like him to also expound upon what he talked about in the press conference, which was the reason the president wasn't indicted wasn't because of a lack of evidence. It was because of the Department of Justice policy that you don't indict a sitting president. And so that explains why he has abundant evidence in 10 different episodes of obstruction of justice and yet decided not to indict the president because he felt couldn't under DOJ policy.
Let me ask you, because you've called for an impeachment inquiry to be launched into President Trump. I want to play for you what the Judiciary Chairman Jerry Nadler said today about that.
Articles of impeachment are under consideration as part of the committee's investigation, although no final determination has been made.
This is the most directly he's actually ever talked about impeachment proceedings. Are you sensing any change here?
Well, I think I do detect a little bit of a shift there just because there's greater public consciousness and awareness of the contents of the report. And people are also starting to talk about other kinds of impeachable offenses that are out there. And the key point to remember is there's a difference between an impeachment inquiry, which is looking into all of the evidence, and articles of impeachment and actually voting on them. And actually, a majority of the impeachment inquiries in congressional history have not led to articles of impeachment. So it's not a foreordained conclusion here. However, we've seen very serious evidence adduced by the special counsel and coming from other places.
All right, so when you find out about the committee, let us know so we can make a schedule. Appreciate it.
I absolutely
about the hearing.
will.
Thank you, Congressman.
And if you hear anything, you tell me, too.